Battlefront 2 has just been announced and people are extremely excited as they were when the initial reboot was announced 2 years ago. Unfortunately, however, 2015 Star Wars Battlefront proved to be a massive disappointment to some gamers with its lack of a single player campaign mode as well as overall general lack of content. Despite a few suggestions of the game underperforming in terms of sales when it was first released, according to some analysts, it still managed to sell about 12 million copies within its first month of release. These numbers, however, weren't enough to quell the terrible buzz surrounding the game, with some questioning whether it was worth purchasing a shell of a game created to capitalize on the fanaticism surrounding Star Wars The Force Awakens. Still to this day, there are many gamers who feel that Star Wars Battlefront isn't a game worth purchasing, despite all of the extra content, some of it paid, some of it free, that has since been added. At this point, many people are extremely excited for Battlefront 2, especially after the release of the Last Jedi trailer, as well as the Battlefront 2 trailer itself. But will this be a repeat situation of the first Battlefront? Let's have a look at some of the facts surrounding the first Battlefront game. People were extremely excited after the announcement of the reboot of Star Wars Battlefront in 2015, but slowly as the launch date neared and more information about the game was released, more and more gamers became apathetic towards the idea of actually buying the game. As previously mentioned, a lot of gamers were annoyed about the perceived lack of content and felt that the game did not do its predecessors justice, and in turn labeled the game a cash grab. While I do think that it is hard not to think of a Star Wars game being released at the same time as a new Star Wars movie as not being a cash grab, honestly, I don't feel that Star Wars Battlefront was such a bad game. Rather, I feel that the game was hurt by a lot of nostalgia for the supposedly good original titles, and then also the general hype surrounding the game at the time. I didn't play any of the previous entries into the series, so I went into the game without being clouded somewhat by nostalgia. It's definitely not the best FPS experience out there, and I probably wouldn't have bought the game had it not been on sale a month after it had been released, especially due to the fact that it doesn't include a single player campaign. But I liked what I saw and enjoyed the 3 months or so in which I played it regularly. The fact that I only played the game for about 3 months is rather telling with regards to the amount of content the game has, but as I didn't pay full price for the game, I wasn't really all that bothered about that fact. By and large, I wasn't the only person that felt people overreacted about Star Wars Battlefront, and eventually even wrote a piece about how hype can raise our expectations to a level that can't be reached, using the title as a prime example of this fact. However, suffice to say, the negative cloud surrounding the title did persist. It seems though that this was a good thing, as EA has listened to its fan base and has tried to rectify all of its past transgressions with the first Battlefront game in Battlefront 2. Firstly, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will make use of characters and situations from the 3 different film trilogies and not just the original trilogy. It seems that Jar Jar Binks may actually save some Star Wars media. Secondly, rather surprisingly, EA will not be releasing a season pass for Battlefront 2 because they do not want it to fragment the game's player base. Now, I've spoken about this before with regards to Call of Duty and how annual releases as well as DLC kind of destroys one's ability to make the most of a game due to its divided player base. In these situations, some players have the DLC and others don't, and all of a sudden it becomes much harder to find a multiplayer match or steadily slide from match to match. This action, however, does make me wonder how much the game will cost, as EA is surely taking a financial hit by doing this, however slight, by not including the prospect of earning more cash from a season pass sale. That said, the lack of a season pass may also increase the sales of the base game itself. Thirdly, and I think this is the aspect that gamers are most excited for, the game will include a single player campaign that will supposedly stretch across the narrative of the 3 different film trilogies. From all of this information, it does seem like some of this excitement is warranted. The game does look to be an overall improvement upon the first title and will surely be one of the most anticipated releases of this year. I do hope, however, that expectations aren't raised too much by hype, as was with the first game, which did have problems but certainly wasn't a No Man's Sky situation. Only time will tell whether the game will live up to all of the positive information that has been released so far about it, but I sincerely sincerely hope that it does, and it is definitely one of the games that I'm most looking forward to. Are you excited for Star Wars Battlefront 2? Do you think we should err on the side of caution when it comes to hype? Please share in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please remember to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.